Okay, fine, I'll admit. This topic is admittedly pretty tame. It's not as bold as Serge Savard saying that Lane Hutson is the most talented Canadiens player since Guy Lafleur. It's definitely not that bold. This is more tame by comparison, but we still do have some Montreal Canadiens stuff to talk about in regards to what one Alexandre Carrier had to say about the Habs blue line, and we also had some comments from Jakub Dobeš as well. Obviously, though, I wanted to give some time in the spotlight to just acknowledge these players. Carrier specifically, I feel like Jakub Dobeš, we give him his props quite often on this YouTube channel. We talk about goalies, we talk about young guys, we talk about how Dobeš was ranked a lot lower on the NHL's projected list of top goalie prospects than I think some would have expected with the resume that he put up. All of the pretty good saves in the games that he had in 24-25 for Montreal. But Alexandre Carrier is a guy that doesn't really get his flowers. 28 years old, 5'11", 174, right-handed guy, signed on till the end of 2026-2027, making $3.75 million. He was acquired from the Nashville Predators in that Justin Barron trade, I'm pretty sure. If we go back over to the trade itself, yes, there we go, 1-for-1, Barron for Carrier. That was it. Could you imagine the Montreal Canadiens with a blue line decor of Carrier, Reinbacher, and Mailloux, and everybody debating who would make the team and who would be left out? Yeah, we kind of had that song and dance last year. But now it's just Reinbacher in the mix. Anyways, a lot of that debating that you would have with Reinbacher and Mailloux and Barron, it doesn't really exist with Carrier, because he's 28, he's already old, and he's already experienced and skilled enough to be an NHL player. 18 points in 51 games, the most recent season with Montreal, 25 points in 79 games as a whole on 24-25, and Carrier has comfortably slotted into what I think a lot of fans would project to being the second pairing for Montreal this upcoming year. Now, let's head over onto an article published by Gabriel Duhamel on August 9th, 2025. This is the French version of NHL.com, and this article will be linked in the description down below. It was initially in French, it looked like this at the beginning, but translated to English you will get some comments from Carrier talking about the Montreal Canadiens decor, talking about Noah Dobson, and then there are some comments from Dobeš at the bottom here as well. Let's dive into this piece together now, shall we? Alexandre Carrier says that other teams will expect the Canadiens differently, and he's excited about the Canadiens' summer acquisitions. The article expands on that quote from the title. Clearly, Carrier says, the expectations for the Canadiens will be different. Other teams will expect more from us. They will be more ready to face us, said the Quebec defender at the KR Classic on Saturday at the CN Sports Complex. We're still one of the youngest teams in the league. We still have a lot to learn, but it's exciting to grow our core. We know we're going in the right direction. That is nice to see. I mean, Carrier's 28, as we've been saying this entire time. It's not like he's necessarily the youngest. He's not in that mix of a Lane Hutson and a Cole Caulfield, Slavkovsky type age range, but he's relatively young. I mean, there are other guys around the NHL that are much older than Carrier, so I guess you could say he still has more to learn too. But diving into the next part here, the article talks about how Noah Dobson was acquired by the Canadiens for 2 firsts and Heineman. Bolduc was involved in a trade that sent Logan Mailloux to St. Louis on July 1st. GM Kent Hughes also signed forward Sammy Blais and Joe Veleno last month. Carrier will get some help from Dobson on the right flank. The Quebec City native has been the Canadiens' only right-shot defenseman since David Savard's retirement. However, his role as the number 4 defenseman and his average playing time of 2050 in 2024-2025 could be revised downward with the arrival of Dobson. It's good to have internal competition, Carrier replied, and it's true that we lacked right-handed defensemen. We won't hide that. It's just good for the team when everyone is fighting for seats. We're just improving collectively. It's going to help the team's success. Noah Dobson is a big guy, mobile guy, who can make a good pass. He's already shown what he can do in this league. He's only 26, but he comes with a lot of experience and several games under his belt. That's good for our D-core and our team as a whole. Plus, from what I've heard, he's a great person who works hard and wants to improve. And honestly, it feels kind of weird to acknowledge the fact that Noah Dobson is 26 years old. Is he actually 26? No, he's 25. Yeah, what are you talking about, Alexandre Carrier? Know the ages of your teammates. But Noah Dobson is 25 years old, born in 2000. He is still relatively young, but he is also super experienced in this league, just like Carrier has been. Really, I mean, outside of Carrier, could you realistically say that Noah Dobson is the most experienced Canadiens defenseman on the team? Especially now that David Savard is gone? I mean, think about it. Lane Hutson, Caden Gooley, Xhekaj, Struble, Matheson. Who knows if he's going to be sticking around. Matheson, of course, a lot older than Noah Dobson as well. But Dobson has been a better defenseman for longer, I feel, than Mike Matheson has been. So already, there is some really good top-end value that Noah Dobson is bringing, not even on the ice gameplay-wise, but in terms of the optics and how the team looks and how folks view the Montreal Canadiens as a whole. I do actually agree here. Carrier makes a good point. Dobson brings a lot of internal competition, and that's a good thing. Now, let's dive into the bottom part of this article and talk about what Jakub Dobeš ended up speaking out about in regards to his first start to the season in a Canadiens uniform. Outside of any miracle performances of guys that are in the Canadian system, I don't think Dobeš is going to be in Laval to kick things off. He'll probably just be the backup behind Montembeault. The Czech goaltender was first called up by the Canadiens last December and has never been demoted since. Now, with a one-way contract in hand and Caden Primo off to Carolina, he's in the perfect situation to not only start the NHL season, but also solidify his place in the NHL. For now, however, that is not his primary focus. Every summer, I try not to think about it too much, Dobeš explained. I take it one day at a time. I want to show my potential, my skills, show that I give 100% every day. But that's it. I don't look too far ahead. I'm having a good time here today, and I want the fans to have fun. I don't really look beyond that. He also does not take his spot in the NHL for granted. Every year you want to prove yourself, and every year you never know what your role will be because things are constantly changing. But like I said, I'm going to take it one day at a time, do my best, and be a good teammate. That is a winner's attitude there out of Jakub Dobeš. You love to see it out of a guy who is still trying to earn some respect in the National Hockey League. You know, we made the video a few weeks ago talking about how Dobeš was ranked as like one of the lower tier prospect goalies in the NHL, despite the fact that he was a consistent Canadiens goalie for a good chunk of the year. There was a shutout that he got in there as well. I mean, this is a guy who, just based off of the body of work he had with the Montreal Canadiens, things started out really well for him. He had the shutout against Florida and then was able to string together some really good numbers. There were some losses in there for sure. It wasn't all perfect, but Dobeš still has himself a lot to prove and a really good foundation to get things kicking off of from his profile here. Dobeš had started his career in the NHL like a lion, allowing only 4 goals in his first 4 games and going undefeated in regulation in his first 6 games. Things then got tougher with the stats and everything. He finished the season with a 2-4-2 record. In the first round of the playoffs, he made 2 starts, replacing Montembeault, who was injured in Game 3 against Washington. So with all this in mind, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about Alexandre Carrier's commentary on Noah Dobson and what Dobson brings to the Habs? And how do you feel about Jakub Dobeš speaking out about his opportunity to be an NHL goaltender and how he's not taking that for granted in the slightest? How do you feel about these guys heading into the year? How well do you think they're going to perform? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.